Hi, my friends. Hi, third graders. Welcome back to our class read aloud, which is Tommorow Girls Behind the Gates. We are on our final chapter together out of this book. Last time, we found out that the girls are in a training school, that Mrs. Brewster and all the teachers are part of the Alliance. So here we go. The last thing was said was Mrs. Brewster was with the teachers and she said, "Long live the Alliance." So here's chapter 16. I'm clammy, cold, and frozen with fear. I listen in horror as Mrs. Brewster goes on. "Emuel, here is the list of students whose parents are Alliance agents. Gather only those girls in the cafeteria for further instructions. Sasha, get the phones from the office so everyone else can start making phone calls." I want to cry or throw up or scream, but I know that most of all, I have to move, like now. If the teachers come out and discover me, the consequences will definitely be much more worse than simply just being sent home. Actually, being sent home would be a miracle right about now. Sprinting as quietly as possible down the hall, I was searching for Maddie more frantically than ever before. Finally, I find a door that Evelyn told me about. "Maddie?" I ask in a hushed tone, hurry lightly tapping on the door. I'm down the hall and around the corner from the teacher's TV room, but they've probably split up the party by now, and who knows who else is down here wandering the halls. "Louisa?" Maddie answers. I'm here, but I'm locked inside. I'm locked in from the outside." In a stroke of crazy good luck, Rosie approaches from the opposite direction. "Maddie's in here," I tell her. "Help me find the right key to get her out now." Together, we searched through the keys that Evelyn had given us, trying one after another. My hand was shaking as I kept trying, but I must stay calm. "Wait till you hear what I found out," I say to Maddie and Rosie as I try yet another key that's not working. "What?" Rosie urges me. I recount and tell them all of it. When I'm done, Rosie just stares at me, wide-eyed and mouth wide open. "This is an Alliance training school?" she asks and questions. "A sleeper cell? Are you sure?" Completely, I confirm. The key that I was testing now doesn't work. Maddie's door starts rattling as I pull it out and try another one. "Basically, you guys, we've been kidnapped. If our parents won't do as they say, I don't know what the plan is for us. I guess they're just gambling that our parents love us enough, and they're probably right." "But what if your parents have nothing to offer?" Rosie asks. "If your parents have nothing to offer, not power, not influence, not money, then you wouldn't be here," I said logically. "I suppose," Rosie says. "Unless they're already in the Alliance, I think, but I can't say that. Even in the dark hallway, I can see that Rosie now is pale with panic. We've had our differences, but I can't believe that she knew this was coming," she said. "Got it," I announce in a triumph whisper as the key finally turned to the lock. "I heard what you were saying," Maddie informed us as she burst from the room. "We have to get back to the dorm and tell Evelyn. She has to return these keys. No one can know what we've discovered," Rosie added. We raced back to the dorm to find Evelyn waiting impatiently outside the door of our suite. "What took you guys so long?" she cried when she saw us. "Never mind that. Just give me the keys." Wait, I say, panting from our sprint and my terror. "You have to hear this." Rosie, Maddie, and I, we push Evelyn into the room and we start talking, quietly but quick, filling her in on everything I overheard in the main hall. Evelyn does not look even the least bit shocked. But as the rest of us were, we were completely shocked. After all, she has been suspecting this all along. She rallied quickly. "Okay, I have maps. I recreated them from my memory on the very first day while it was still fresh in my mind. We have to report this to someone," Maddie says. "Who?" I ask. "Someone in charge," Maddie suggests. "The police, the army?" "But how?" Evelyn asks. "They all have our electronics. This is why they took them, so that we can't communicate with anyone." "Forget all that," Rosie says in a firm, no-nonsense team leader voice. "We have to get out of here right now." But what about the other girls? Maddie asks. No, there's no time, Rosie says. If everyone starts leaving, they're going to know something's up. And if we don't know who we can trust, do we? We have to go. Even if CMS isn't a sleeper training camp. Oh, it most definitely is, Evelyn interrupted. Well, whatever it is, Maddie is certainly in trouble, and they're bound to realize that she's gone from the isolation room in the morning, Rosie says. I'm struck with a powerful desire to just want to go home. What good is a swimming pool if our families are at risk? It's not like Chicago's that far away from Canada either. And if CMS, or the Alliance, has bothered to take everyone's kids, I just want to be with my parents. I just want them to know that I'm safe. I'm leaving, I announce. Tonight. Who else is coming with me? I'm coming, Maddie says. All 4 of us need to go together, Evelyn says. We can't survive without each other. She turns to Rosie. We're going to especially need your outdoor skills. Oh, I'm coming, Rosie assures us. I don't want to be used here to fight my own country. If I have to go into battle, it's going to be against the Alliance. I want to go home, I say. Me too, Evelyn agrees. Then let's not stand here talking about it anymore, Rosie says firmly. Evelyn, go return those keys and then hurry back here. We want to be as far away as possible before they realize that we're gone. Mrs. Brewster said that they're going to contact our parents tonight, I remind them. Right, so we have to move quickly, Rosie says. Evelyn heads down the hall while Maddie and I hurry into our room. Pack up as much stuff as you can fit into your backpacks, Rosie says. It's lucky that we didn't have to return all of our camping stuff yet. We are going to need all that equipment, so pack it fast. Maddie and I lash out our sleeping bags and ground covers and pack them onto our backpacks. After we include all the camping stuff, we jam in as much clothing as we can fit. Suddenly, I grab my hand over my collarbone. My locket! I cry, realizing that it was no longer around my neck. Well, maybe it fell off in the room, Maddie suggests. So hopefully, we then begin looking for it. What are you two looking for? Rosie asked in an annoyed voice while we were out searching in the hallway in the living room. Louisa dropped her locket somewhere, Maddie informed her. Why were you wearing it? Rosie demanded in her calm leader voice. I don't know, I moan as I kneel by the couch to peer underneath. I just miss them. Rosie huffed as she helped me and Maddie now search the dorm for another 15 minutes until Evelyn returned. Look what I found, she said happily. I jerked my head up, hoping it was my locket. But Evelyn had 3 packs of batteries in her arms. I discovered the secret battery stash, she gloats. You guys can carry those. I have more in my stash of escape plan supplies. Evelyn digs in the back of the only closet in the living room. She pulled out a cardboard box with a picture of carrots on the top and the NutriCorp logo. I've been gathering stuff for putting in this box ever since we got here, she reveals as she opened the top and spilled out all the contents. Sugar packs, bug repellent, plastic gloves, bandages, rubber bands, paper clips, pens, her compass. It was all now scattered on the floor. She managed to collect even a pair of scissors, some writing stationery, and a stapler remover. What's a staple remover for? I ask. You never know when that could come in handy, Evelyn replied with a shrug. In her escape collection is a paper notebook with a map that she redrew from her memory on the very first day. We can follow the highway home this way, she says. I think it's pretty much accurate. We need to stay off the main roads, though, Rosie disagrees. They're going to be looking for us there. Well, we can follow the roads but stay maybe over into the forest, I suggest. Rosie nods. We're going to have to do something like that. Evelyn then tears the map from her notebook, folds it up. She slides it into her front pocket of her jeans. Wait a minute. How could I forget this? She cries, running into her room and returning with a map printout that she showed us on our first day here. Right now, this is the most valuable thing that we own, she adds as she slips that into her back pocket. Finally, we were all packed and ready to leave. The 4 of us gather by the front door. Have we forgotten anything? Rosie asks as she scans the room that we've called home for the last 2 weeks. Maddie crosses to the oil lamp and lifts it and picks up and grabs the matches that were kept underneath. These will definitely come in handy, she says, pocketing them. Sure beats rubbing 2 sticks together for a spark, Evelyn agrees. Rosie crosses to the table to grab her copy of Julie of the Wolves. I never did finish it. Could make some maybe good read from around a campfire. The image of us all sleeping out in the open around a night fire after night frightened me. And it is September, and it's only going to get colder and colder. Can I have another 5 minutes just to look for my locket, please? I requested. There's no time. There's no time, Rosie says. I'm sorry, Louisa. I know that she's right. There's no choice. We can't stay here. The four of us leave the room, moving quietly and quickly. We go down the fire stairs at the end of the hallway. Maddie pushes open the door and we stand in this brilliant illumination of the full moon's second night. We need to get under those trees over there, Rosie says. In this light, anyone that's looking out the window will see us. One by one, each of us make a dash for the darkness of the surrounding forest. When we're all together again, Evelyn consults her compass. That way south, she says, pointing to the trees. South is what we want. The four of us begin walking, leaving CMS behind. And none of us knows what lies ahead. And that is the end of the first book. Now, they do give us a little snapshot into book 2 of Tommorow Girls, which is Run for Cover, which looks like this, Run for Cover. And I will read you the little snapshot to give you a little hint into what this book is. Now, the second book, the first book, as you know, was narrated by Louisa, and the second book is narrated by Rosie, okay? Shh, Evelyn says. They might have bugged the trees. Her dark skin blended into the shadows, but in the glimmers of the moonlight, I can see her eyes darting around in that annoying everybody's after us kind of look that drives me crazy. Bug the trees, Louisa says. That's a little paranoid even for you. Evelyn flares up at once. I might be paranoid, but I'm right, aren't I? I mean, I was the one that knew about this school. I rolled my eyes. Maybe one or two of your insane theories were right, but when you're shooting a million ideas in the sky, it's not surprising that a couple of them will land. I was right that it was a conspiracy. Evelyn's voice was now getting louder. The Alliance was luring us into a trap. The secret locations, the weird classes, taking away all electronics, it was all part of their plan. Shh, all right, Louisa says. We're not disagreeing with you. You were right all along. You're conspiracy detecting genius. Is that what you want to hear? Can we just keep moving, please? I say. Maddie sighs loudly, but she doesn't argue as we start walking again. I would rather try to find our way in the dark, letting our eyes adjust, but not enough moonlight was penetrating through the thick canopy of branches, so we had to use our flashlights. I was letting Louisa hold it, since she had a steady hand. Twigs and pine needles were cracking and snapping under our feet, and we were surrounded by the Christmas smell of a pine forest. If our situation weren't so utterly terrifying, it would have been kind of nice and peaceful out here. I don't understand their plan, though. Evelyn, Maddie says after a minute, if they were planning to hold us hostage for our parents' money, why would they teach us survival skills and all the other stuff? Why train us like we're soldiers? We would never fight the Alliance, no matter what they did to brainwash us. Too right, I say. I'd break Mrs. Brewster's face before I even helped the Alliance. Wow, Rosie, Louisa says. Tell us how you really feel. No, I'm kidding. I agree with you. A low-hanging branch snags her blonde hair and she stops to detangle herself. Maybe, Evelyn says and then pauses. Her shoulders were hunched and her hands were shoved in her jean pocket. Maybe what? I say. Never mind, she mumbles. You'll just think that I'm stupid again. I won't, Maddie says, bumping her shoulder. Go on, tell us. I like hearing your theories. I then exchanged a glance over with Louisa. In the dark, I can't see her expression, but I'm sure she's thinking the same thing I am. It's kind of annoying how Evelyn and Maddie always stick together and encourage each other's worst impulses. I don't say anything, though. As long as they're still walking and leaving CMS behind, I don't care how much talking everyone else needs to do. It's all the same. If I were them, I'd be saving my energy, though, but I can only boss them around so much without someone snapping. I need to pick my battles. Well, Evelyn says, I was just thinking maybe not all the girls were hostages. Maybe some of them were really on the Alliance's side. She hurries on before I can respond. I mean, we don't really know anything about these girls. Maybe a lot of the others were being trained to fight in the war, and they knew this was a secret Alliance training camp the whole time. I did hear something like that, Louisa said slowly. The teachers were talking about grabbing certain girls to the cafeteria to debrief them, the kids of the Alliance parents. We all fell silent. I was thinking about my friends at CMS like Mary Jensen, Chu Lee, especially. I was missing them. It would be a lot more useful out here. They would be a lot more useful out here than Evelyn and Maddie, that's for sure. I'd also take Annie or Erica or Ray or Carol over any day. But they were all still lying to me, possibly? Were they secretly working for the Alliance too? Would they have turned me in and held me hostage if everything came out in the open? I don't believe it, I say, but my voice catches, and I don't sound as confident as I want to. Of course, part of me can't help wondering, if this is true, is the secret that I'm keeping any better than theirs? Ooh, so Rosie has a secret now. And if you want to know more, you'll have to get the next book, Tomorrow Girls Run for Cover. And when you finish that one, there is a third book that is titled With the Enemy. And the narrator of this one is then from Evelyn's perspective. And the fourth and final book is Set Me Free. And the narrator of this book is Maddie. So all four girls get to have their perspective. And I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. And I will see you soon. I will start a new read aloud very soon. All right. Bye, my friends.